Ninja Theory reboots a classic hack-and-slash game, Devil May Cry. Will it hold up to the past Capcom games, or is all the internet-based hate actually true? Here's my review of Devil May Cry. Let's rock.
You looking for a fight? Here I am.
Devil May Cry takes place in a world ruined by dead-end lies where the leader Mundus rules, tricking the population with both its news and products to keep the people under his control. This is where our story starts. Dante, now made a young rebellious teenager, parades around the city picking up chicks and not caring what others think of him. The biggest reason for a lot of hate on this game is basically on the point that it doesn't look like Dante, but I beg to differ. He still has his cocky remarks and his cunning style. Not only that, but when you play as Dante, you feel like it's Dante. Controls are extremely similar to the previous games, and the usual attack method is the same. You hack and you slash. And as the game progresses, and by the end of it, he has his full head of hair. Ninja Theory even lets us change his skin and lets you use a white-haired Dante through the rest of the campaign. So you know what? Good on you, Ninja Theory. Focusing on Dante, a lot of the hate should not be there. Play the game, and you'll like the character. Other characters include Virgil, and up until the end of it, you never really get to see him fight, which I was pretty disappointed about. He's more of a computer biz, but still uses his Yamato blade, but he will definitely have some really cool attacks in the Devil May Cry Virgil's Downfall. The final character on the team is a human girl named Kat, a spiritual medium between the real world and Limbo, who Dante becomes very fond of. She was definitely a really interesting character to see, and I can't wait to see what kind of ways how they improve on her will be. But together they join together to overthrow Mundus and save humanity. Speaking of Limbo, let's get into the gameplay. The gameplay is fluid and easy to make it into. Limbo will be the only place you can fight in, and once you're in Limbo, you can't really get out until you defeat the demon that brought you into it, which is usually a boss. You can still talk to your allies, Virgil and Kat, but all other humans just seem as a weird black silhouette of former humans. It's a really cool world to explore. The only real problem I had with it was the fact of how easy it was you were able to get dragged into it. You know, you never really had a choice of whether or not you wanted to go into Limbo. You were just kind of thrown into it and you had to deal with it. Enemies range far apart and can be a bit troublesome later on, adding to the difficulty of the game, sure, and even the bosses are all varied and different techniques are needed to be used to defeat each of them. The stages are beautifully done, and each different depending on what area you are in, and really set the tone for where you are. The tone of the music stays very Devil May Cry, with some heavy metal, but adds a little electro and punk here and there to spice things up. It really depends on the situation. The story will take between 12 to 14 hours depending on what kind of difficulty you have it on. But once that's done, you have a couple of side missions and collectibles that you need to get to go back for in order to rack up the achievements. A couple of things that I found that were bad about the game was a few lags on the menu screen and during cutscenes, and a couple of the times with grappling can be difficult to remember which one you can use to pull you or objects, and you can lead to some frustrating deaths. A bit more development could have been done on the characters, and I would have liked to see Lady or Trish make an appearance. I can't really say much for the duration on the game because all Devil May Cry games are fairly short, and I was happy that I didn't have to go back and defeat the same bosses over again like I did in Devil May Cry 4.
Ninja Theory's Devil May Cry is a great hack and slash game. I would recommend it to anybody who's a Devil May Cry fan. I give DmC 8.5 out of 10. I can't wait to see what they do in the future, and I hope they really make a sequel, and stay tuned for the new DLC of Virgil's Downfall.